What's going on, people? It's Jay the Black here. I'm back with another video. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about the story I read on a couple different articles, but I'm going to read the one on Media Takeout. People going to say, why are you reading on Media Takeout, Jan? Well, because the story has already been corroborated. It's factual from New York Post, New York Daily News, New York Times. This is a real story, but the one on Media Takeout is a little bit more precise, and it got to the point. You know, it got through all the other things and it got to the point. Okay, so I'm gonna read the one on Media Takeout real quick. It says the NYC woman had her life taken by her thug boyfriend. Okay, just days after she had bragged on social media about how, you know, basically he was a thug. You know, Jerry Brown, 34, calls himself Grim Creeper. His girlfriend, Savannah Rivera, 20, the pregnant mom of a 3-year-old son, called him Mr. 187. That's street slang for basically a murderer. Right? And his new girlfriend, Angela, she's in this scenario as well. Both of these ladies are, because this guy, okay, not only took the life of his ex-girlfriend, but also he tried to take life of a new girlfriend, because both of them were friends with each other. You know, he had dated one, he ended up dating the other friend, but I guess they still remain close. You know, thugs have a way of doing that. Now, this particular female, Angela Valle, she posted on Facebook, I fucking love my fucking man, Doe. Mr. 187 himself. She says, I love you, daddy. And then he responded, I love you, my queen. And that was March 9th. All right. Now, let's see. Say Jerry was a street thug and Savannah loved his street edge. Police say that yesterday Jerry hacked his girlfriend to her demise with an axe. According to authorities, Jerry hacked Savannah so badly that her head nearly came off. Law enforcement sources revealed yesterday that they were charging Jerry with attacking 2 moms that left one deceased and another fighting for her life. More charges are still pending, law enforcement sources said. Police claim Jerry is a violent ex-convict, you don't say, and charged him this morning with murder and attempted murder and criminal possession of a weapon, which was an axe. Jerry has a long history of arrests, including assault, robbery, burglary, and strangulation. But he was getting all the love he could get from this 20-year-old and a friend, along with other minor offenses of turnstile jumping and drinking in public, sources said. Now, he was arrested in Manhattan at around 3 p.m., sources said, and has admitted to being at the scene of the crime, a source added. Savannah's friend, Angela Val, is hospitalized with multiple massive lacerations, including to the back of her head. Let's see. The suspect knew both women, police have said, but social media posts show Brown was dating Val as recently as last month. Val's Facebook posts from November through March were filled with affection for her beau, who she calls Grim Creeper. All right, so let's read a little bit from the New York Post. Let's see. Chilling, just last month, she referred to him affectionately on Facebook as Mr. 187, street slang for murder. Okay, read all that. We believe he had some sort of relationship with both. He knew both of the victims, said Brooklyn's North Commanding Officer, Deputy Chief Michael M. Kemper. This was a brutal, terrible, vicious attack. Both victims suffered multiple deep lacerations. And that's according to the police there. You know, I want people to understand when we talk about, you know, thugs, you know, and we talk about bad boys, we're you know, we don't just say that because we're jealous. I've heard that. I've heard people say that we're jealous of the Pookie and Ray Ray types. No, that's the furthest thing. See, I grew up with these particular type of, you know, Pookie, Ray Ray, quote unquote types. Growing up, my cousins were that, and I grew up with my cousins. My cousins were my closest friends. I ran the streets with them too, but I chose to go in a different direction because I saw that there was nothing at the end of that particular road. Nothing, you know. And you have to make those choices. And when we speak about these things and the fact that women like bad boys, you know, it's not just a bad boy who just have swagger. You know, like they, you know, for some reason, there are women that are attracted to dark energy. And I know y'all know what I'm speaking about. There are women out there that are attracted to dark energy. They are attracted to men who they are a bit fearful of, who they believe other people are fearful of. You know? And this is why these guys are getting these women, because women are attracted to a certain energy that they have. It could be because a female, you know, grew up without a father and she feels protected with that type of guy because he puts out false bravado. We know these guys ain't tough. This is why they have to use weapons in order to exert any type of, you know, aggression. They can't use their hands, you know. So I don't understand why you will have women who will feel safe with these guys. I mean, you know, these guys are more harmful to themselves and everybody around them. Just like this guy, Jerry, you know, Grim Creeper. I mean, any dude with that name, as a woman, you need to be very cautious before getting into any relationship. Not only that, this dude was messing with two different friends. Had dealt with one girl, stopped dealing with her, started dealing with her friend because she's attracted to that dark energy. And and certain females wonder why they get into these relationships where there's a lot of abuse. Really? You should not be surprised. I mean, you're getting into a situation with a guy who's emotional, who, you know, is cowardly, who's going to take his aggression out on you because he can't do it on nobody else. Because, again, he's a coward. You know, a lot of these guys have these false bravado and women fall for it. But they don't realize that these guys aren't who they think they are until it's too late. And women, you have to be very careful of dealing with dudes just based off of what you think or what you see, because looks can be deceiving. Just because he runs the street, you know, he may sell a little dope, you know, he may went upside a dude head every once in a while. That don't make you tough. What makes you tough is being able to be respected. And if people don't respect you, then more than likely, you know, you're never really going to have to You're never going to have to be aggressive. Dudes get aggressive when they feel they're not getting respect, when nobody respects them, when they're considered a joke. Understand this, when we talk about women, nice guys and bad boys, unfortunately, you have a segment of women who just, you know, listen, I understand that women, when they're younger, they're attracted to the bad boys, you know, they're rebellious. But when you are a woman in your 20s, I would say in your 30s and 40s, and you're still dating the same type of men, at some point it becomes a mental illness. It becomes a mental illness. Because you should know by then there's no future with these guys. So you getting on social media and venting about how men ain't this and that. Look at who you're dating. Now, I will say this with these young girls. This guy was 34. These girls were 20. This dude was basically taking advantage of these girls. He was. He probably wasn't paying no bills. Okay. And it would not surprise me if the girl who was pregnant was threatening to put him on child support or didn't want to be with him no more. And that's what caused him to get emotional, because we all know when these type of guys get rejected, they can't handle rejection. They're just as emotional as women. This is why I don't get this whole notion that these guys are tough guys. They're not. They're mentally fragile. Okay. They have no prospects whatsoever. They have no way of creating and building anything. These are the coons of the community. These guys, they're the coons. They're the ones making the neighborhoods worse because they can't keep themselves out of the system. You can blame, the system of oppression all you want to, but these guys continue to get themselves in trouble. You can't blame nobody but these guys. What system of oppression are you going to blame for this situation? Both these females are not black women. So who are you going to blame for this? Who are you going to blame? And I noticed that in the black community, we don't want to hold these type of guys accountable because we got guys like this in our families, or maybe we used to run the streets and get in trouble. But you cannot defend this in no way, shape, or form. But I know some of you are, because you're dysfunctional and you think it's cool to be an idiot. But guess where idiots end up? The idiots end up either locked up or gone from this earth. That's where you aspiring thugs always end up. Always. There is no future for you if you continue down the path that you continue down. There's nothing wrong with changing your life. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do better. But if you continue down the path you continue down, you're going to end up just like this guy who's basically will never see the light of day again. And it's all his fault because he got emotional, because he got, I'm assuming, got rejected, not only by one of the females, but both of them. They were still friends with each other and he couldn't deal with it. These emotional simps, a lot of these Pookie and Ray Ray types like this guy are simps. They can't handle rejection. They're used to women showering them with attention and being easy. But as soon as, these particular females reject them, they don't know how to deal with that. They already have a bit of low self-esteem, which has caused them to, run the streets and always try to, exhort. I keep saying exhort. Try to be aggressive because they know they can't get respect no other way. They haven't built anything. They don't have no money, no funds, nothing. They probably can't even get a job. But they out here having kids with multiple women.